Thank you very much, everyone. Please be seated. It gives me great pleasure now to call upon the members of the main panel to take your respective seats, starting with the chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, was appointed as a non-executive independent director with effect from June 2019 and is the chairman of the People's Merchant Finance PLC. Is also the co-founder of Atpowra, the first ever TV reality show for social entrepreneurs and impact investors in Sri Lanka, telecasted on the largest national TV network, and also the founder and the chairman of the Lanka Impact Investing Network Private Limited, Sri Lanka's very first impact investing firm focused on channeling private equity funds with the purpose of investing and providing business development support to nurture a well-developed ecosystem of social entrepreneurs across the country. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Chandula Abevikrama. Next, we'd like to call upon the members of the Board of Directors to take your respective seats, starting with someone who was involved in the restructuring of People's Merchant Finance PLC and was appointed as a non-independent, non-executive director with effect from June 2020, counts more than 3 decades of experience in the financial services sector, having commenced his career at Lanka Orient Leasing Company Limited in 1987. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Travis Waz. Someone who was appointed as a non-executive, non-independent director with effect from June 2019 and is the Chief Executive Officer of Sterling Automobiles, Lanka Private Limited. Having started his career at Ernst & Young as an audit trainee, he progressed over 8 years in the audit and assurance sector by becoming a senior management of the BDO partners, having gained valuable experience in business valuations, due diligence, forensic audits, internal audits, project proposal formulation, business process outsourcing, and financial advisory services. His expertise is widespread, covering a range of industries from banking and finance, insurance, microfinance, plantations, manufacturing, general trading, apparel, and many more. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the director, Mr. Rangana Madhusankar. Next, we have the head of the strategic planning at We Are Team Rocket, a specialized B2B growth marketing agency. She has experience working with multiple cross-functional teams related to strategic planning, process improvement, risk management, business development, and project management. World, multinational, and Fortune 500 organizations. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our next director, Dr. Nirmal De Silva. He functioned as the chairman of the Finance Houses Association of Sri Lanka, FHA, for 2013-14, 14-15, and also served as a board director of the Credit Information Bureau, CRIB, from 2015 to 17, and as the CEO of SoftLogic Finance PLC from Feb 2013 to March 2020. Prior to him being appointed as the CEO, he served as the deputy CEO of the company. He is a fellow member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka, fellow member of the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, UK, fellow member of the Sri Lanka Institute of Credit Management, and the finalist of the Institute of Bankers, and globally. He has extensive expertise in financial reporting, taxation, structuring capital market transactions, and analytics. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Deputy Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Terence Kumara. Today, we live in a world where everything is equally important and every performance is almost nearing a perfection. In this situation, there is only little space left in to innovate. That's none other than the end user, basically you and me. We have become the center point of a huge ranging tornado, all being filled by so much of developments and capabilities, ranging from artificial intelligence, data analytics, data science, augmentation, and of course, digitalization and many more. The science friction has become science fact. Think about the self-driven cars and the computers that can think and learn. Ladies and gentlemen, the way we work will never be the same again. We would require a whole new set of skills to encounter the challenges of the new world order. Time and again, history has taught us that technologically and knowledge-wise superior will always win, be it teams, individuals, organizations, and even nations. Taking these world realities into consideration, for the last 39 years, ladies and gentlemen, PMF, the People's Merchant Finance PLC, has been in the forefront in encountering the challenges and, of course, taking the ship, navigating through all the challenges, especially in the field of banking, finance, and leasing industries. Today, being an innovative and an organization with targeted financial solutions, it's time we have come to a juncture where to encounter the non-traditional solutions, especially to enable the entrepreneurs across the country. In the year 2019, the organization, we embarked on a new journey of renewing, revitalizing, and repositioning our business paradigm, especially to fulfill nothing but the uncharted potential of the company with the capital infusion by our major business shareholder, Sterling Capital Investments Private Limited, and especially with the appointment of these vibrant, dynamic members of the board. Today, we have achieved some amazing results and ready to further key focus our functions that we have privileged us to focus on the next phase of our business. Ladies and gentlemen, to welcome all of you for this lovely celebration where we unveil our new identity and new vision for the future. Please welcome the Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Nalit Vijaykorn, to welcome all of you.
Very good morning to all of you. Mr. J.P.R. Karunaratne, Assistant Governor of Central Bank of Sri Lanka. Mrs. Jayasinghe, Director, Non-Bank Supervision Department. Chairman and Board of Directors of PMF. Distinguished invitees, dear friends. It's my great pleasure to welcome you here today for the launch of PMF Finance. While People's Merchant has been resilient for over 39 years in the financial services sector in the country, in 2019, the entry of Sterling Capital Group based in Japan, has been able to provide the organization the strength both financially and strategically as the major shareholder. The two successful rights issues in which Sterling Capital invested over 2.6 billion rupees was most critical to sustain the business in 2020-2021, when the business operations across the country and internationally was disturbed by the COVID pandemic and subsequently a recession. Similarly, the company was able to comply with all the central bank prudential requirements in terms of capital adequacy, liquidity, and the core capital. The necessary structural changes in the board of directors and key management in 2020-21 enabled a successful development and implementation of the 5-year transformational strategic plan from 2021 with focus on asset growth and profitability. The company has set a goal of surpassing 25 billion asset base and rupees 1 billion net profit by 2025-2026. The company was able to enhance the product portfolio and offer services at competitive prices to all of its stakeholders during the last 2 years, despite the slowing down economic activity, in which the deposit base grew almost over 100% to rupees 5 billion, while the total asset base passed the hallmark of rupees 10 billion. We have successfully raised over rupees 2 billion from banks and other financial institutions through bank loans and securitization, reaffirming the confidence placed in us by all our stakeholders, including financial institutions and our loyal deposit holders. The company witnessed a V-shaped recovery by recording profit after tax of rupees 67 million after 10 years continuous losses in 2020-21, which grew over 100% in year 21-29 to rupees 191 million profit after tax. The introduction of our Navodaya Entrepreneur Financial Loan Scheme in October 2021 has been aimed at transforming the rural economy and stimulating growth and sustainability in the SMEs, which much needed at time of slow GDP growth. In order to align the identity with its rapid transformational journey of success, we intend to relaunch as PMF Finance PLC from today. While presence in physical branches will be strengthened, we will also work towards digitalizing the products to deliver instant solution to all financial services. We hope 5-year transformational journey will not only benefit our stakeholders, but the entire industry as a whole. Let me thank you all for accepting our invitation today and being with us at this important milestone. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, the Chief Executive Officer of People's Merchant Finance PLC, welcoming all of you whilst making the opening remarks. The moment that you all have been waiting for, the launching of our new logo, the new identity. Would like to call upon first the Chairman of People's Merchant Finance PLC, Mr. Chandulape Vikrama, to step forward, please. We have kept a special I would say an iPad in front of you so that you can place your finger on the correct place. Right. Next, we'd like to call upon Director Mr. Travis Voss to do the honors. Mr. Rangana Madhushankar, the next director. Mrs. Crystal Reed Vijay Surya to do the honors, madam. Next, we have Dr. Nirmal De Silva. Mr. Nalin Vijayakoon, the Chief Executive Officer. And then one final, Mr. Terence Kumar, the Deputy Chief Executive Officer. Ladies and gentlemen, unveiling our new identity, new vision with People's Merchant Finance PLC. The path maker frontier, ladies and gentlemen, the new letters PMF, alluding the company's purpose to offer nothing but differentiated yet useful and needed financial solutions to the current and future customers. Unleashing our new logo, ladies and gentlemen. So with that, it's time to take a look at a very special video. It's time to go down our memory lane, where we are ready to talk about how we encountered certain challenges and obstacles on our way to achieve nothing but the undisputed leadership status when it comes to giving these special, current, and needed financial solutions to the entrepreneurs in Sri Lanka. Let's have a look at the video now.
From our beginnings, PMF Finance has diligently perfected the art of service excellence. Through every test and transformation, we constantly challenge ourselves to improve the value that we bring to our community. Since our incorporation in 1983, we drew strength from a groundbreaking international partnership between People's Bank and Guinness Mahone and Company Limited. What followed was a decade of steady growth and value creation in Sri Lanka's financial services industry, fueled by a crystal clear focus on creating convenient financial solutions that people could depend on. Our steadfast commitment to customers has never wavered in every aspect of the economy. In 1993, the company underwent a major capital restructuring, which involved a consortium of corporate investors from Sri Lanka, Hong Kong, and Australia. With this support, the company was listed on the Colombo Stock Exchange in 1994. Since then, several key stakeholders have played their own unique roles in the expansion and prosperity of PMF Finance. As our network, workforce, and capital flourished, we always remembered our roots and our fundamental vision to make the opportunities that come with expert financial services available to all Sri Lankans across the island. In 2019, Sterling Capital trusted what we believed in and joined us as our third largest stakeholder. Since then, Sterling Capital, a titan among international financial experts, has been a firm believer in our mission to transform the Sri Lankan finance industry, and today they have become the largest investor in the company. Now steered by a group of financial experts across multiple industries, PMF Finance sets forth on a brand new journey. In this revived new direction, we reinforce our commitment to deliver strong financial solutions, not only to the Sri Lankan community, but also to the neighboring region. We are your trusted pathmaker.
Shall we all put our hands together, give them a big round of applause? Come on. All the very best, People's Merchant Finance PLC. Ladies and gentlemen, addressing next this victorious celebration of PMF, would like to call upon none other than the undisputed leader. Please welcome the chairman, Mr. Chandula Abevikrama.
very good morning to ladies and gentlemen. Assistant Governor Mr. Karunaratne, Director Ms. Jayasinghe of non-banking finance. Many countries are going through major social, economical, and financial challenges, and particularly in our country. And in a time like that, the banking and the finance sector is more challenged, more sort of demanded by the respective stakeholders to be relevant. Thankfully, the organization that we represent here today, PMF Finance, has a legacy of 40 years. From changing hands from institution to institution, finally, almost 3 years ago, the Sterling Holdings Japan, taking a major stake, began to change the dynamics. The people like me and my colleagues in the board, or totally new board of directors that came, and we have been here for the last 3 years. And as Nalin has also very clearly said, that we inherited an institution, though had nearly 40 years of services to the country, but continuously loss-making. And we had the challenge of taking this organization to be next level, to be relevant to the aspirations and the expectations and the needs of the people of the country. So we embarked on looking at seriously internally, looked at the number of initiatives that we need to work on, number of structures that we need to change, and the personalities and the people that need to be in place, and also, with great respect to our regulator, to ensuring the highest level of compliance in the process of our doing business in the right way, at the right place, at the right time, in the right things. So we want to make sure that we be relevant all the time. And that's why we felt that even during these difficult, challenging times, that I myself have been in the banking and the finance industry nearly now 46 years. Major part of it that was at HNB. And I realized that there has been changing dynamics in the last 50 years in this country, with number of cycles taking place. And I felt that it is time that we seriously look at what is possible for us to do from the point of view of our company, what is possible. And what is possible from the point of view of the creating access to the customers, and what is practical for us. What is practical in the point of view of the customers, and what is affordable for us to do, and what is affordable for the customers. Because we are a medium-sized finance company. We have only 12 branches. And we want to make sure that we create access to more services, particularly financial services, understanding the segments of this country and the demands of the society's financial needs. We felt it is up to us to make stand out and do something which is impactful, create something which is more dynamic to transform the society. And we felt that can be done if we transform ourselves. So therefore, we brought that internal transformation to our team, our management team, our leadership, and the board continuously work with the management team to ensure a transformation gets into the fabric of the organization. So that once that transformation is inbuilt, we felt that we can reach out to more people in more places more often. And despite the fact that we are geographically limited, we felt that creating access to more people in more places more often, there are many opportunities, many possibilities. And we embarked on that. And we began to invest on those things that is more practical, more affordable, more possible for us. And we kept in mind that we want to make sure at the end of the day, our stakeholders, our investors, our partners, and our customers and our employees need to recognize the fact that everything that we do, we want to make ourselves relevant to the aspirations of the people, relevant to the market dynamics, relevant to the changing requirements of the society and the economy and the financial sector. And as Nalin very clearly said, after 10 years of continuous losses, we changed the dynamics to a profit-making entity, and we doubled the next year. And I'm sure, despite all the challenges that we are going through even now in this year, and I'm sure that we will turn things in a different manner into a most accepted way of our stakeholders. One thing very clear was, our investor Sterling Holdings was very, very patient. He embarked on investing, he bought the money that was in Japan, which he earned in multiple engagements, and one of the leading businessmen. I had the privilege of meeting a couple of times when I visited Japan for another occasion. Very well respected Mr. Chaminda Molligoda. And Sterling Holdings has created a name in Japan more and then in Sri Lanka. Very well respected. We had two of the senior level, Mizuho Holdings senior level officials visiting us before the COVID to partner with us, but that is still on hold. And with that commitment, with that patience that Sterling Holdings had, give momentum for us, the courage of our convictions to make sure that our journey is strengthened and that we embarked on a way that we could really enrich more people in more places more often. And doing that, we brought in number of people into the organization that matters. We brought the young talent, we brought the experts, we brought the technocrats, which is affordable to us. We didn't take very high price individuals, but what was affordable to us? What was possible for us? Because we felt at the end of the day, the customer, our financial services, has to be affordable to him, accessible to him, and be practical to him. And continuously, that was the foundation and the thinking and the consciousness that we had. And based on that, we ensured our deposit holders, diversity of our borrowers, whether it's leasing, whether it's various number of products and services. And we embark on Navodaya entrepreneur development loans. And in each of those, we add a flavor that economic enrichment, empowerment, enhancement of more people in more places more often will enrich this country economically. And we want to start adding our contribution even in a little way. Whenever we are not possible to walk step, we are willing to walk even inch. Director, we are fully convinced that we will be delivering value requirement of the regulator. We will be delivering value to all of our stakeholders and to our people of this country, so that they would be, in these challenging times, more economically, socially, financially enriched by virtue of our engagement. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Chairman of PMF, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chandulabe Vikrama, setting out the plan for the future. Next, I would like to call upon the Assistant Governor of the Central Bank of
ago. So the NBFI sector represent only 5.5% of the overall financial sector. However, the NBFI sector plays a very important role in the overall economic growth in the country by channeling the required credit to the much more important MSME sector in the country. The MSME sector in the country contributes about 52% of the overall growth in the economy. However, as you know, the banking sector facilitation to this particular sector is very less compared to the NBFI sector. The Central Bank of Sri Lanka last year initiated the country's National Financial Inclusion Strategy Framework, which consists of, he was working at HNB Bank, where I was as an examiner in the bank supervision department. So this is a very important sector. And also today, the world is changing in a different direction. So we experienced this during the COVID period, where we moved away from all physical technology, which has gone to far deeper compared to us. So this again a very important sector, for the important pillar for the NBFI sector to think of. Again, another important role played by the sector is the enhancement of financial literacy. So that again a pillar. So I mentioned 4 pillars: the financial literacy and consumer awareness. I think all of you know, 2 weeks ago, the recent financial literacy survey results were launched. So we have improved ourselves around 36% in 2014 to around 58% 2021. So this is a great achievement. So if we can improve the financial literacy, I think we can solve many problems which we face today. Well, we hear a lot of unauthorized deposit-taking institutions as opposed to the formal financial sector, banks and NBFIs, where the people trapped and has caused significant problems and social issues. So this again important pillar where our NBFI sector need to think of. I think PMF Finance PLC will be able to contribute significantly to the consumer protection, which again has been a very hot topic. And again, there are serious complaints and criticism on this aspect by the public. We see on the media, we hear from different channels, the NBFI sector, not only NBFI sector in this regard, even the certain banks, but especially the practices are not acceptable, unethical. So it is very important, all NBFIs play an important role in the consumer protection front. So I hope it's not just a name change from People's Merchant Finance PLC to PMF Finance PLC, but it's a change of your whole business model, business structure. During the early 1990s, there were a significant number of company failures. I think, as I can remember, about 13 companies failed, causing significant losses to the depositors and creating significant instabilities in the overall financial system. And again, late 2007-8 period, I think Mr. Gunawardhan knows better than me, with the collapse of Selinco or unhealthy, in the context of non-compliance of certain parameters, to become compliant companies through different avenues, mergers, acquisitions, and infusion of capital. So I would like to say, of course, People Merchant Finance PLC, who are non-compliant with our core capital requirement, so was subject to this merger acquisition program. We had a system which we implemented. But of course, then Chandula and team visited us and requested us to continue as a standalone entity. So how do you do that? So only way that you need to comply with our core capital requirements and the capital adequacy requirements. So which they wanted and they promised. So subject to that condition, we allowed PMF Finance, of course, People Merchant Finance, that time, to continue on a standalone basis and ensure stability in terms of complying with our requirements. Because in terms of stability, the 2 key prudential requirements we adopt core capital and the capital adequacy, which today the PMF Finance PLC was able to do. So I think before I came for this meeting, I asked Director Non-Bank Supervision whether they are complying in full. Because I didn't want to come here if they are not complying. So she sent me a piece of paper giving all these indicators, which I didn't want to read, I didn't have any time, but I looked at the key prudential indicators, the core capital and capital adequacy, which comfortably complied with a very high capital adequacy ratio. So which is a comfort for us as regulators, because that is the indicator which measures the strength and the stability of the institution and itself, and also stability of the overall sector. So therefore, I am very happy the People's Merchant Finance PLC, but now PMF Finance PLC, was able to bring the company back to the comfortable level of stability under the guidance of Chandula and the board of directors. But of course, there are few important points when it comes to the sector. This is not pertinent to the NBFIs, but also for banking sector or any other sector. Now, if you look at the failures which took place, which I mentioned earlier, there are several connected issues. Poor corporate governance and the culture, poor compliance, lack of transparency and accountability, and poor risk management. So this is the experience we have domestically, but in the context of overseas experience also same. There are no differences. So that's why the board of directors of the company need to play a key role in ensuring good governance. But we cannot move away from stresses arising in the market because we can't control the markets. So we are undergoing a very difficult period in the economy. So which started in 2019 with the Easter bomb blast, then 2020 with the COVID, which ran for almost 2 years, then the present crisis. So how do you survive in such an environment? Because we can't do anything, or we can't stop business cycles taking place, stresses arising. So how can you survive? The survival only through the good corporate governance. I know not only here, everywhere in the world, the entities which ran with good governance, good compliance has always survived. Of course, there may have certain impacts in terms of your bottom line profitability, but of course you can survive. But the institution which failed is purely due to the lack of governance or the poor governance, poor risk management. So that's why it's vital for the board of directors to ensure you adopt good corporate governance within your entity. In doing so, you need to ensure you are fit and proper. Okay? So fit and proper means you are competent enough to run the organization. You understand the business. So you have to fix yourself to the right path. You can't compete with others. You can't follow the other partner. Because your talent is different. Your expertise is different. The market which you cater is different. In Sri Lanka, what has gone wrong is we want to follow the other. Without capacity. Of course, if you want to follow the other, if you want to compete, go beyond the other, you have to adopt the right talent, right model. The board of directors, policies and procedures of the board of directors, to implement them in a right way. So if you don't implement them, again it will create problems. You can have good policies, procedures in place, but what happens if you don't implement them? So it's why very wide expect other person to do this thing or the right thing, which I am not doing. So that is not the way. It is not just top-down approach where it is coming from board of directors to the junior level of officer. It is not from bottom to up. It is across the board at all levels of the entity. So if you adopt that culture, you can continue your business in a sustainable and viable manner. That is the only way you can retain your good name in the heart of public. So you do adopt right practices, you ensure transparency, and you ensure accountability. That is the only way. Otherwise, this should not be strict to this board. The name change should be a name change which gives real outcome for the entity and to the society. Then no one would come and tell PMF Finance has acted unethically. So I hope the PMF Finance with the name change will remain in the hearts of the people, following good practices and following ethical practices, act in a transparent manner while contributing to the betterment of the society, especially fulfilling the need of MSME finance, digital finance and payments, consumer protection, financial literacy. I hope you will succeed in this endeavor. Thank you very much.
අපගේ මාධ්‍ය හිතවතුන්ට කරන ආරාධනය ඔබගේ අවස්ථාවයි මේ.
Chairman sir, වගකීම් සහගත ආයතනයක් විදිහට රටේ ආර්ථික වෙනුවෙන් ඔබේ දායකත්වය කොහොමද? මොනවාද ඒ වෙනුවෙන් තියෙන සැලසුම් ඉදිරියේදී?
It's on.
අපි ඇත්තටම අඳුනාගත්තා අපේ ආර්ථිකයේ සමාජයේ මූල්‍ය ක්ෂේත්‍රයේ තියෙන යම්කිසි විවිධාත්මක ගැටලු සහ ප්‍රශ්න සහ අවශ්‍යතාවයන්. ඒ අවශ්‍යතාවයන් වලට අනුව තමයි අපේ සම්පූර්ණ සේවක මඩුල්ල දැනුවත් කරා අපි ඉස්සල්ලාම. මේ රටේ දැන් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ෆිනෑන්ස් කම්පැනියක් කිව්වහම ලීසින් දීලා, ගෝල්ඩ් ලෝන්ස් දීලා ඊට අමතරව අපි පොඩ්ඩක් වෙනසක් ගිහිල්ලා අපි අපේ සේවක මඩුල්ල යම්කිසි දැනුවත් කිරීමක් කළා. ඒ වගේම ඔවුන්ට අවශ්‍ය කරන ඒ සංවර්ධනය ලබා දීමට අපි වැඩ පිළිවෙළ කීපයක්ම කරා. එහෙම කරලා අපි විශේෂයෙන්ම පළමු වතාවට හඳුනා නවෝදය කියන ඒ ව්‍යවසායකයන්ට අවශ්‍ය කරන මූල්‍ය පහසුකම් ලබා දීමේ ක්‍රියාවලිය. දැනට මම හිතන්නේ 100 දෙනෙක්ට විතර දැනට මේ ඉතාමත්ම තෝරාගත්තා වූ ව්‍යවසායක මුළු ලංකාව පුරාම ව්‍යවසායකයන්ට උන්ගේ ව්‍යවසායක නැත්තම් ෆිනෑන්ස් වලට නෙමෙයි ව්‍යවසායකයන්ට අවශ්‍ය කරන ඒ මූල්‍ය පහසුකම් ලබා දීමට කටයුතු කරලා තියෙනවා. ඒත් අපි නිරන්තරයෙන්ම හඳුනාගෙන තියෙනවා වෙනස් වෙමින් පැවතින අපේ භූගෝලීය වශයෙන් ගත්තොත් එහෙම උතුර ඒ වගේම දකුණේ ඒ වගේම නැගෙනහිර බටහිර සහ කඳුකරේ ඒ ව්‍යවසායකයන්ගේ නොයෙකුත් විවිධාත්මක අවශ්‍යතාවයන් තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේම බලාපොරොත්තු තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේම ඔහුගේ ව්‍යාපාරවල පිළිවෙලක් තියෙනවා. ඒ අනුව අපි අපේ කාර්ය මණ්ඩලයටත් අපි ඉදිරිපත් කරලා තියෙන උන්ට ඥානය අවශ්‍ය කරන දැනුම ඒ අනුව ඒ අවශ්‍ය කරන මූල්‍ය සේවය ලබා දීමට උන්ව සැදී පැහැදී කටයුතු අපි නිරන්තරයෙන්ම අපේ කළමනාකාර මණ්ඩලයට කියලා තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේම ඒ අවශ්‍ය කරන මූල්‍ය සේවාවන් අපි දැන් ඉදිරිපත් කරලා තියෙනවා අපේ සේවාවල තුල. ඉතින් අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා නිරන්තරයෙන්ම දැන් මේ අවස්ථාවේදී අපි ආර්ථික වශයෙන් යම්කිසි දුෂ්කරතාවයකට මුහුණ දෙන අවස්ථාවකදී වුණත් දැන් අධික පොලියකින් අපි විශේෂයෙන්ම ව්‍යවසායකයෙක්ට මෙවැනි අධික පොලියකින් විශේෂයෙන්ම ඔහුගේ ව්‍යාපාර කටයුතු කිරීමේ ලොකු අභියෝගයක් තියෙනවා. විශේෂයෙන් මයික්‍රෝ MSME අපේ රිසර්ච් ගමන කිව්වාගේ MSME සෙක්ටර් එකේ මෙවැනි අධික පොලියකින් ඔහුගේ ව්‍යවසායයන් කරන්න අමාරුයි. මේ අවස්ථාවේදී කොහොමද අපි ඔවුන් සමග ඒ ව්‍යවසායකට අවශ්‍ය කරන මූල්‍ය පහසුකමත් ඒ වගේම ඔවුන්ට අත්වැලක් වෙන්නේ කොහොමද කියන එක අපි කටයුතු කරන නිරන්තර මේ தත්ත්වය අනුව අපේ ශක්තිය අනුව ඔවුන්ට දායක වෙලා ආර්ථිකයට යම්කිසි ගුණාත්මක දායකත්වයක් ලබා දෙන්න.
Yeah, first of all,
Yes, can hear.
Yeah. Congratulations on the name change, Chairman and the Board of Directors. You have a program in place that you said a transformational growth program. So in that, like, where do you see the growth coming in for the next 3-4 years, given the country's situation where the financial sector is facing a lot of issues? The other question is in terms of your NPA situation in the company, what are the remedial actions that you're planning to take to, sort of reduce your NPA exposure in the coming years?
The first one, then Aline can answer you can answer the second one. I'll answer the first one. On the growth opportunities area, we feel that this is a small country, but there's plenty of opportunities in the area of agriculture, the commercial agriculture, ecotourism and tourism, the education and healthcare. And so on those areas, we are now really gearing ourselves, particularly in the commercial agriculture area. Actually, we are really training our people and bringing our products and services to attune that. And also in the area of the ecotourism, actually, the small size tourism is booming up. Actually, that will be the future of the country in another 1-2 years' time. And then also the education and healthcare. Those are the industries that would emerge despite these challenges, because the country need locally develop healthcare mechanisms. And I think towards that we will see a lot of growth opportunities that would take place.
The second question, in 2019, when this restructuring process started, at that time our NPA ratio was over 30%. Out of the portfolio, 30% is in bad loans. So we have taken some corrective action and proper monitoring. We are happy to say that we managed to reduce our NPA to 6% by 31st March 2020. Change of rules, the guideline central bank, the NPA classification changed from 1st April. Now our NPA position is only 7.1%. But how we have done is, there are a lot of over 600 million facilities under NPA under legal status. We managed to contact these customers. Month by month, we managed to reduce our NPA, and we are maintaining at 7% now. Compared to the entire industry, NPA is currently at 17%.
Further questions? තවත් ප්‍රශ්න තිබෙනවාද?
රංගන මදුශංක මහත්මයාට ප්‍රශ්න යොමු කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ. ස්ටර්ලින් ජපාන් ආයතනය හා PMF අතර තියෙන සම්බන්ධතාවය පැහැදිලි කරන්න පුළුවන්ද?
ඔව් ස්ටර්ලින් ජපාන් ආයතනය බොහොම ඒ කියන්නේ එස්ටැබ්ලිෂ් වෙච්ච කම්පැනි එකක් ජපාන් වල. දැනට වසර 30කට වැඩි කාලයක් ජපානයේ සිට ලෝකයේ විවිධ රටවලට වාහන අපනයනය කරනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ මූලිකවම ආසියානු රටවල්, යුරෝපා සහ අප්‍රිකානු රටවල් වලට කරනවා. සහ මේ දිනවල විශේෂයෙන්ම නවසීලන්ත ආශ්‍රිතව වාහන අපනයන කිරීමක් සිදු කරනවා. ඉතින් බොහොම ශක්තිමත් ආයතනයක්, ජපානයේ බොහොම ප්‍රචලිත ආයතනයක්. අපේ සභාපතිතුමා කියපු ආකාරයකට ඇත්තටම අවුරුදු 30කට වැඩි දශක 3ක කාලයක් තිස්සේ ඔපරේෂන් එක කරනවා. මූලිකවම ඇත්තටම කියන්න ඕන 2019 වසරේදී ඒ කාලේ People Merchant Finance කියන ආයතනය ආයෝජනය කරන්නට මේ අවස්ථාව ලැබුණාම අපේ ස්ටර්ලින් ජපාන් සභාපතිතුමා අපිට තිබ්බේ ලොකු අභියෝගයක්. එතකොට මම හිතන්නේ මිෂන් අලින් කිව්ව ආකාරයට 30ක NPA අනුපාතයක් එක්ක විශාල අභියෝගයක් අපිට තිබ්බා. ඉතින් අපිට හොඳ අධ්‍යක්ෂක මණ්ඩලයක් එක්ක අපි ඒ ගමන ආරම්භ කරා. මොකද ඒ වෙලාවේදී අපිට තිබ්බ ප්‍රධාන අභියෝගය තමයි අපි ගොඩක් ඒවට non compliance තැනක තමයි ආයතනයක් විදිහට තිබ්බේ. අපිට තිබ්බ ප්‍රධානම අභියෝගය කෝ කැපිටල් එක කියන එක අපි මීට් කරන්න තිබුණා. ඒතකොට මේ වෙලාවේදී ස්ටඩින් ජපාන් ආයතනය සෙන්ට්‍රල් බැංක් එකත් එක්ක තුලා ඒ අවස්ථාවවලදී හදිසියෙම හරි ඒ කෝ කැපිටල් එක මීට් එක කරන්න යන රයිට් ඉෂුව වලට සබ්ස්ක්‍රයිබ් වුණ නැත්ත වගකීම ගන්නවා කියන ඇෂුරන්ස් එක ඒ වගකීම අපි මහ බැංකුවට ලබා දුන්නා. ඉතින් ඒක අනුව 2020 2021 උන හැම රයිට් ඉෂුව එකකදීම ඒ කිසිම දෙයකදී අඩුවක් නොවෙන්න අපි මේ දේවල් හරියටම ඒක ඒවට ආයෝජනය කරලා ඒ ෂෙයාර්ස් වල අවසානයේදී අද වෙද්දී අපි non compliance entity එකක් විදියට මේ වෙද්දකොට PMF Finance එක මේ රටේ අපි මූල්‍ය ශාස්ත්‍රයේ ඉදා හොඳ ගමනක් යනවා. ඒ අතර මම හිතන්නේ අපි capital adequacy ratio එක ගත්තොත් 30%කට වැඩි මම හිතන්නේ ලංකාවේ බොහෝම අතලොස්සක් මූල්‍ය සමාගම් වලට තියෙන ratio එකක් තියෙන්නේ. ඉතින් බොහොම හොඳ තැනක තියෙනවා. ස්ටඩින් ජපාන් ආයතනය ගත්තොත් ඒ වගේම ඇත්තටම අපි COVID එන කලින් 2019 දී මිසුව බැංක් එකේ එහි ප්‍රධාන
Most of the company going down because of the major reason is interest rate. It's a very high, 20 more than 25, 20, 30. My question is, you are in involvement with the central bank, reduce or discuss with this rate. My feeling is best rate is 15 to 20. My question, you are involved in the reduce that rate.
The rates increase actually started in last April with treasury bill rates going up to 30%. As a experience, our organization at that time, our deposit base was over 2 billion, closer to 3 billion. So the depositors actually put a lot of pressure on us because there's a fierce competition in the market, banks and finance companies offering high rates. And depositors are trying to prematurely withdraw deposits and invest in treasury bills and other institutions. But fortunately in our organization, we have a diversified product portfolio. We successfully managed this repricing challenge. We have a gold loan portfolio over 1.7 billion. 85% of that is 1 month product. So after 1 month, we also managed to increase the rates of gold loan, and we have a margin trading portfolio. Only 6 finance companies have license to do margin trading. So we managed to increase our margin trading portfolio. It's about 800 million. Then we have a vehicle loan portfolio, which very short term, 12 months product. The customer pay only monthly interest. But in the agreement, we have a clause that after 6 months, that the company can change the rates. So that portfolio, after 6 months, we managed to change the rates. With that, we managed to reprice our lending portfolio, also closer to 3 billion with this price increase. The new deposits are coming at high rates, so our new lending also at high rate. So far, our not a single portfolio is at a loss. Fortunately, we got this new equity during the last 2 years. So we have invested in long-term leasing also at low rates. So that is entire equity is used to invest in this long-term asset. This competition is there. So we have, I think, success as a small company. We have successfully faced this repricing challenge.
Just to add to these regimes, and now we are going through, of course, due to various other factors. But I think as this would really have its ups and downs, it will go down naturally. Then I think during this period, of course, all the financial institutions like us, we need to make sure that the mentality of making hay while the sun shines is not adopted, but to be more prudent, more realistic, and holding with the customers, not recognizing the fact that this is a high regime of rate of interest, and thereby because depositors also get, and be conscious of that. This is a kind of a, I would say, passing trend and it will really have eventually come down, and then we need to be ready to be relevant.
Any further questions? තව ප්‍රශ්න ගැටලු තිබෙනවාද? Right, if there are no more questions, we can wrap up the Q&A session. In fact, during the fellowship time, you are very much free to talk to all the dignitaries and everyone responsible to get further areas clarified. So with that note, ladies and gentlemen, time to wrap up the formalities. But before we do so, to say a very big thank you to certain teams, individuals and organizations who made a tremendous contribution towards making this event, this gathering, a grand reality, and at the same time, especially revealing and launching the new identity and new vision of PMF Finance, a grand success. It's time to call upon the Deputy Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Terence Kumara, to propose the vote of thanks.
Good morning. Assistant Governor Mr. Karunaratne, Director Non-Bank Supervision Mrs. Disanaika, Chairman and Board of Directors, distinguished invitees, ladies and gentlemen. So it's my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this special occasion. So to start with, first I would like to thank the Chairman and Board of Directors, the CEO, who initiated this rebranding exercise and guided us, the PMF team, to make sure that everything is there as per the plan. Thank you very much for all the support and guidance given. Then special thank goes to Mr. Karunaratne, Assistant Governor of Central Bank of Sri Lanka, and Director Non-Bank Supervision, Ms. Disanaika. So Mr. Karunaratne, thank you very much for accepting our invitation. Thoughts have truly inspired us today. Then I would like to thank all our distinguished invitees for accepting our invitation and gracing this special occasion. And sincere thank goes to the PMF team who handled this event throughout. Without your support, this event would not be a success. And I would also like to thank the Cinnamon Lakeside Hotel and all other supporting parties for having their outstanding services and the right logistic support to make this event a success. So finally, I would like to invite all of you to further strengthen our relationships towards a successful journey as we are at PMF Finance PLC.
Invite all of you to enjoy the refreshments being served. Thank you very much.